Welcome back to Access Anime. My name is Henshin Ikeda, and today I'll be doing a walkthrough review of Naruto Shippuden episode 316. Now, if you remember from last episode, we found out Yoda has eliminated himself instead of being sealed, so that was definitely worth mentioning. But again, that's where the episode ends, and all my final thought and rating at the end of the clip, so stay tuned. But let's dive right on in. So we open up this episode with Kabuto, and he's pondering what's he going to do next. But before we get to find out what's he going to do next, we're taken to a brief little flashback between Orochimaru and Kabuto. Now, Orochimaru is basically passing along his knowledge in the reanimation jutsu and whatnot to Kabuto. So he's passing along all of his research, his knowledge onto Kabuto. So no real significance there. But again, that's where we open up with. Moving on past that, we're taken to a little cutscene with the allied shinobi. Now this is in the present. We're no longer in the flashback. So we're now in the present with the allied shinobi, and they're being attacked by a few reanimated shinobi. So it's kind of like a head-on collision between the reanimated shinobi and the allied shinobi while they're protecting Tori, which has been sealed. So the allied shinobi are protecting Tori, which was sealed, from these weak little reanimated shinobi. I thought it was going to be interesting. I thought we were going to see unique reanimated shinobi, but we really don't get to see a lot of them. I mean, they're just randomly blended in the background, so that kind of sucks in my opinion, so there's no uniqueness there. But sorry, I digress. Moving on past that, we are thrown with a little bit of information. Apparently, the reanimated shinobi that are attacking the allied shinobi are Kabuto's failures. So these are the weakest reanimated shinobi among his group. I'm like, what? So he picked out all the weakest reanimated shinobi from his, I guess, collection just to find one unique reanimated shinobi which has been sealed. I'm sorry, I'm not impressed. I'm kind of let down here. So this is not even going to be a unique battle. This was just another decoy mission, more or less, in my opinion. But sorry, I digress a second time. But again, we're thrown with a little bit of information. Like I said, these reanimated shinobi that we're seeing are Kabuto's failures. I'm like, really? So they have the numbers. These reanimated shinobi have a lot of them. There are a lot of them spread out. They have the numbers, so the allied shinobi are kind of screwed. But the strength of these allied shinobis are, mediocre at best. But these reanimated shinobi are weak as fuck. So they have the numbers, but they're weak as fuck. And I'm like, really? And these allied shinobi are just being picked off one by one. I mean, they're just pawns, more or less, but they're doing their best to protect each other. I mean, there's no major players that are with them right now, but I can't wait to see what's going to happen. Now, moving on past that, we're at a pause, a standstill between the reanimated shinobi and the allied shinobi, and apparently some know each other, some don't, but it's weird. I mean, you have the allied shinobi know a few of the reanimated shinobi, and some of the reanimated shinobi know some of the allied shinobi, so you get where I'm coming from. So now they're just doing a little catch-up. Their talk is like, oh, hey, how are you doing? I died, so how did everything turn out? I'm like, really? What the fuck? Are you kidding me? You're in a major battle between people that are dead and people that are trying to save the ninja world, per se, and you're going to take time out of a battle just to chit-chat. Come on, what the fuck? We want to see blood, gore, we want to see people dying, reanimated shinobi being sealed, not ketchup. Now, moving on past that, we are taking to a little cutscene with Haji. I hope I pronounced his name right. Now, Haji actually uses a swirling smoke jutsu to confuse the allied shinobi, because, what's going on right now is just, the allied shinobi bullshitting with the reanimated shinobi. And that's a great decoy for Haji, because he can just use his swirling smoke jutsu to confuse everyone, and it does to an extent. So moving on past that, we're taking to multi-flashbacks of Kabuto evolving, which I was like, okay, this was really pointless. They just threw that in there after we see Haji use his jutsu on everyone, with the smoke screen and whatnot. Now we see multiple flashbacks of Kabuto evolving over time, mostly seeing all of his failures and whatnot. Apparently, within this flashback, multiple flashbacks, I should say, of Kabuto, he's going along collecting the bones, the DNA of all these famous dead shinobi, but it turns out that all of the bones and DNA he'd been collecting were the wrong ones. I'm like, well, sucks to be you. It really does suck to be Kabuto within those flashbacks, because all of his missions to collect the ultimate DNA of these really great shinobi was a failure. Every single shinobi he brought back to life was weak, pathetic. I mean, it didn't really go anywhere. Like, wow, this right now is kind of pathetic in my opinion. Now, moving on past that, in the present, most of the reanimated shinobi have been sealed. So all these weak failures, these reanimated shinobi, have been defeated. They've been sealed. Now, a remaining group of reanimated shinobi are not sealed. You know, they're still free, ramping around. Now they're going after the Rhea cage, so that's their mission, while the weak pawns of the reanimated shinobi acted as the decoys being picked off one by one. The rest of the reanimated shinobi, like a small group of them, were going to go after one of the sealed Rhea cages, which makes a lot of sense, because I mean the diversion was definitely there, and I loved where it was going, but you know what the downside? They trip a trap, if that makes any sense. So the Rhea cage that these reanimated shinobi were going after had a trap, and it was activated. I'm like, really? Who did not see that coming? I mean, come on. I mean, allied shinobi members aren't just going to let a sealed Rhea cage alone without setting up some random trap. So yes, these reanimated shinobi in this small group, they step on a trap, and it's been activated, and out of nowhere, we're taken to a little cutscene with Tamara. Now, Tamara attacks this little group just in time with her reinforcements, which were some more of these allied shinobi members, which we don't get to know who they are, of course. They're just in the background. But anyways, Tamara has saved the day. She has reinforcements with her. But apparently, Tamara knows one of the members in this small group that she is attacking, and they have a lover's, well, it appears to be a lover's quarrel, if that makes any sense. Like, one of these dead reanimated shinobi knows Tamara. He's like, I used to love you in the past, and Tamara's like, well, why didn't you say anything? But, you know, at the end result being, Tamara's like, yeah, I still don't love you. Nothing would have happened. And this guy's like, really? Well, it's too late. You can't kill me now. I'm already dead, so it's on like Donkey Kong, more or less. But you know what? I thought it was definitely worth mentioning, but it was also very pointless at the same time. Now, moving on past that, toward the end of the episode, we're taking to a little cutscene with I hope I pronounced his name right. He's from the Foundation. He's called Turyun. Now, I like Turyun. He's a pretty unique character in my opinion, but again, he's from the Foundation, but he's a reanimated shinobi now, and Turyun, he actually escapes Tamara's grasp, so he's not technically dead, but you know, he is a reanimated shinobi, but he escapes being eliminated, or sealed in this case, by Tamara, and Turyun escapes, but you know what, his mission was a failure. You know, he didn't rescue, or in this case, unseal the Rhea cage, so it was kind of pointless, but he does end up escaping. But Kabuto, he notices this guy, and he's like, wait a minute, Turyun, why are you so unique? Maybe you're the best failure that I actually created. So now, Kabuto thinks Turyun is probably the most unique shinobi he has right now he's paying attention to anyways. I'm like, really? You didn't even know who the hell Turyun was when you resurrected him, and now you think he's your ace in your sleeve just because he escaped and he's that unique? What the fuck? Kabuto, you're losing it. But again, that's where the episode ends. As for my final thoughts, well, first of all, Kabuto, why didn't you know who Turyun was to begin with? I mean, he was from the Foundation. I mean, you just resurrected him. I know you thought he was someone else that you were resurrecting, and he turned out he wasn't. But now that you know that Turyun is very unique and he's usable as a pawn, more or less, why did you know this shit to begin with? I mean, come on. Common sense, man. But anyways, moving on past that, where is Kabuto now? What's his next mission? Who's he going to go after next? We really have no idea. Now, as for Naruto in general, who the hell cares? It's Naruto. We have no idea where he's at. What's his next target? Who is he going to help out next? We don't know. I think right now we're waiting for Itachi to jump right on in. But again, that ends it for my final thoughts. As per my rating, 2.5 out of 5. I'm giving this a 2.5 out of 5 because I was let down. The flashbacks pissed me off, and we really weren't given enough information that was going to lead us to anywhere else. So this episode was a failure, but not a bad failure. I mean, we had, I guess, a couple characters from the past show up that were reanimated, but other than that, no. Drama, yes. Emotional connection between Tamara and her childhood friend, yes, but other than that, yeah, I wasn't feeling this episode, so final rating, 2.5 out of 5, and that ends it for my walkthrough and review of Naruto Shippuden episode 316. But definitely comment down below, let me know, thumbs up, thumbs down, definitely subscribe, check me out on Twitter, and follow me if you like. Let me know what you thought of this episode, and let me know what you think's going to happen in the next episode coming out. But again, guys, that ends it for now. I gotta hit the bricks, and I gotta go. And before I go, I gotta say it, and I always say it. You can't stop the access, but you can watch the feed. I'll see you later, guys.